Morning guys, Zeke back here at the Fullbucket headquarters, and this morning I'm with Dr. Rob Franklin, co-founder of Fullbucket. Dr. Rob, we're going to talk about another one of our pets, and that's the cat. Tell us about Daily Cat. Tell us what went behind the process of creating Daily Cat and some of the usage for that.
Yeah, you bet. Well, Daily Cat, started off by the big problem being we're trying to package up our food for our cats these days, and unfortunately, that's a big deviation from where cats were designed to eat, right? And the natural environment, right? So they're whole food type of animals. They tend to hunt by themselves. They consume the entire meal. It's typically a bird or a mouse or maybe a squirrel or something that big, but it's small mammals or birds that they're going to eat. And when they eat that, they eat the whole meal, and that is what they were designed for. Now, a lot of our cats live in houses. They're fed processed food. Some people cook for their cats, but I mean, even if you're cooking for your cat, it's really hard to give them the same everything that they were going to get by if they were caught a mouse.
Sure.
The reason that we came up with Daily Cat was to be able to bridge the modern day diet to the modern day cat from what they were designed for.
Yeah. So similar, to the dogs. Dogs were hunters. Cats were hunters, and they would go hunt their own food. And now we spend our money on buying them little balls and toys that they can chase and hunt. Again, different environment.
That's right. So environment and diet are really important. As you say, I mean, cats need some stimulus, and normally they get that stimulus from hunting.
Sure.
But they still need that stimulus, so we provide an artificial source for it. We also provide an artificial source for their food, and so they're not having to hunt that. We were designed for a different type of diet than what we consume, and so a lot of people have GI problems, a lot of people have autoimmune problems, a lot of people have allergies. It's really related to our diets and how we've deviated from what we were designed to eat. Cats are the same way. Cats have a lot of problems that are related to their diet, and it's not that people are necessarily intentionally doing something bad, it's just that we're having to feed them processed, bagged food, and they're not designed to be able to take that in and to process it the way that they were originally designed. You have to remember that whenever a cat would eat a mouse, not only are they going to get protein from the muscle, they're going to get mineral from the bone, they're going to get vitamins from the liver, they're going to get enzymes from the gallbladder, they're going to get enzymes from the pancreas, they're going to get gut microflora, so they're going to get bacteria from the animal's gut that it just ate. They ate the whole thing, right? So all that comes in a package. They're going to get cartilage support from the cartilage from that mouse, so they can repair their own cartilage. Everything that they need is like the true, whole food they got just from that one mouse. Wow. And that's the way most animals are designed, is they're designed to get everything they need from their meal. Yeah. Not today. Yeah. Today's Daily Cat is deficient in those crucial things that help them unlock the nutrition in their diet. Yeah. And so we say, what are those things? Well, we've just mentioned what all is included in that mouse, but here's what's not included in a commercial diet. Yeah. Number one is you don't get a live probiotic.
Okay, all right.
It's crucial. They have to have that. Why? Because it helps them break down their food. It also helps regulate the normal balance in the gut. All mammals have normal microflora. That's the balance of good and bad bacteria in their gut that help them digest food, help their immune system function. So they don't get any support from that. Their gut is just basically there, and whatever the environment is, it helps them, but they don't get any probiotic support. And even commercial cat foods that labeled with probiotic, you can't put probiotics in through a cat food process and have it survive. Reason being, all those cat foods have to be heated up to a certain level to kill all the salmonella in there, so that there's no risk of getting salmonella. Okay? We are going to kill all the probiotics. You can put probiotics in there in the cat food. You can put it on the label. It doesn't mean it survives. I'm telling you, it will not survive. And so you have to supplement them with a probiotic.
Wow. So the probiotic supplement is so important then today in our cat's environment. Tell us what's in Daily Cat that sets it apart.
Well, the probiotic strain is a yeast strain. It's called Saccharomyces boulardii. It's the most well-studied strain for all mammals that's out there. It's safe to give with antibiotics because it is a probiotic. It survives the harsh acidity of the stomach. We actually use one that is micro-encapsulated, so it's actually protected from heat and moisture before it gets in your cat, and protected from any problems that it could occur in the upper digestive tract until it gets to the lower digestive tract where it's needed. So a micro-encapsulated strain of a very concentrated source, a well-studied probiotic is what we start with here. And then we add a prebiotic. Well, prebiotic is like a fertilizer for the good microflora. So if you've got the gut, it's got an unstable microflora, we provide probiotics to help regulate that. The prebiotics should basically act as fertilizer to let that good microflora expand. Okay. So remember, they're not getting anything from their food. They're not getting anything alive. This allows their gut to be stabilized to prevent bacterial overgrowth, to prevent bad bacteria from taking over. You get cats with diarrhea, that's a big problem, you know, especially indoor cats. People know about it, you know, the smell, the cleanup, it's a nightmare.
Thank you.
You know, so having a cat have a normal bowel movement is very important for our quality of life and that cat's quality of life. Yeah. So, you know, having those probiotics is crucial, having the prebiotics in there. But the other thing that we talked about in that whole food diet is enzymes. Okay. So what enzymes are there? Well, enzymes are also another little tenuous thing. You heat them up too much, they're not going to survive that process. So it is, people are recognizing, the major food manufacturers are recognizing that cats need these probiotics and these prebiotics and these enzymes. And so they're starting to put small amounts in the bag. I mean, they just can put this tiniest amount in the bag. It doesn't have to survive. And they get to call out on the label. So people say, oh, you know what, I've heard my vet, I've heard, you know, Dr. Oz, I've heard people say these are important things. And so there it is. Okay. And unfortunately it doesn't happen. And so those enzymes are another thing that get degraded by heat. They're also difficult to get enough to be able to do the thing, but to do the trick. And so we put them in the supplement. Now these enzymes are things that break down proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. Normally the cat has the ability to do that to some level. They have a pancreas, they have a liver that makes gall juice and a gallbladder to store it in. Mm-hmm. Those things, and then they have stomach acid, which helps them break down, you know, these enzymes break down the food. Okay. But normally a mouse has its own enzymes that help it break itself down. Okay. And that's consumed when they eat that mouse. So they get all the enzymes that mouse already had, and they're able to utilize that to help it break down that meal along with their own. Now you take away the extra, they don't have enough to do it. And so a lot of the problems that we see with the small intestinal bacterial overgrowth and problems where we get issues is because a lot of that food is coming down, it's not being digested.
Not breaking down.
It's not breaking down. And so now you get bacteria that start eating away at it like rotting flesh in the intestinal tract. You don't want that, right? You want all that enzymatic digestion to occur, and when it occurs, then you don't have the opportunity for those bad things to occur where we start to see diarrhea and issues like that.
Right. Then these are all natural products, right?
All natural. That's right. We do use a natural fish flavoring to it as well. It's a natural flavoring, so we have that in there. We also have it mixed with some flax meal, so you get some natural omega-3s in there. And then the other thing that we add is the L-Glutamine. L-Glutamine is basically an amino acid that feeds the intestinal lining cells. So those cells are called enterocytes. They have a certain diet. They love to have L-Glutamine in their diet. So anytime the intestine could be injured, those intestinal cells are constantly turning over. They have to eat. And so when you provide L-Glutamine, it gives them a really simple source. They have the food they need. They can do the job they need to. So we're supporting those living intestinal lining cells. We're supporting the microflora, or all the bacteria that live in the intestinal tract. And the other thing we're supporting is the immune system. People don't realize that over 70% of your immune system is actually in your gut.
Wow.
Yeah, 70%. So everyone's thinking about, oh, well, I have lymph nodes, that's where my immune system is, or maybe my bone marrow, maybe my spleen. Most of it's in your gut. So what the body has learned to do over the eons of time is that it responds to the stuff that comes down there. And sometimes it over-responds, sometimes it under-responds. When it over-responds, we tend to get a hyperactive immune system and we get autoimmune problems. Autoimmune problems where you start attacking yourself, whether that be your joint, your kidney, your eyes. The body turns against itself. Something's triggering it to do that, but it's turning on itself. An under-immune system is one where you start to get a lot of infections. You start to see, cats are constantly suffering from these infections. They're getting oral ulcers. They're getting skin problems. They're getting respiratory problems because their immune system is not ramped up properly. So what probiotics and prebiotics actually do is they stimulate that gut-associated lymphatic tissue called GALT. They stimulate that whole thing and to keep that immune system regulated.
Wow.
Primed, but not over-primed, right? And so that's crucial, and we know that these prebiotics and probiotics do an exceptional job at doing that in all mammals.
That's great. That's great. For somebody who's had to clean the litter box out, I understand that when the gut's not healthy.
That's right.
That's great. So tell me, this is a 30-serving?
30-serving container, and for most cats that's going to be a month's worth. I'll typically start a cat that's just on a daily maintenance on a scoop a day. Okay. Now some of our cats that are having an actual GI problem right now, veterinarians may prescribe a scoop twice a day, and so you're going to get a little over 2 weeks here. Otherwise, for the average cat that's on a maintenance program, that's going to be 30 servings. I sprinkle this on the cat food. I'll recommend that you either moisten the cat food just with a little bit of water, or ideally even just take a fish oil capsule, poke it with a needle, squirt that on the dry cat food, mix this into it, and so they can get a little omega-3 burst in there with the fish oil, also the flax, and it helps everything settle in. The palatability is really good. Now there's always some cats that just don't, but we went through with a veterinary cat specialist, and she has this huge practice, right? All she does is cats, and so she has literally that sixth sense of cat. And so as we were putting this product together, we really worked closely with her, not only to get the dosing right, to make sure that we were getting the right effects from the supplement, but also to get the flavoring right. So I think we've got a really palatable thing. Of course, you can mix it with wet or dry food, but this is a month serving. You can order this online, and we do have the auto ship, which I think is great. So once you figure out how often you need it, you can save big time by getting on the auto ship. You don't have to worry about it. Now, once you have it, I either recommend keeping it in your kitchen cupboard.
Okay, storage, yeah.
Yeah, just out of really hot. Remember, we're micro-encapsulated, so we actually have that protection in there, but I don't want the thing out in the garage where it can heat up, if you're in Arizona or Texas or something like that, where it's really hot, go ahead and put it in your cupboard, or you can even put it in the fridge. There's, it's not like a yogurt culture, so it's a lyophilized or freeze-dried culture that will come alive once there's moisture, but just by refrigerating, you're going to protect it from getting any wide fluctuations in the temperature. Sure. So once you've got this, I always recommend giving it for at least a month. So give it for a month. Most of the cats that we see a response, they're going to see that are having trouble, you're going to see it within a week or two, but sometimes up to a month. The maintenance cat, the cat's not actively having a problem. It's like me and you. I mean, we take probiotics every day. It's not because we have a problem. It's because we're trying to optimize our immune system and stabilize our gut. We realize that that's an important part. So you're not necessarily looking for a change, but it's kind of like, good security. Hopefully there's no problems, and if there's no problems, you have good security. Sometimes you get a little complacent. You go, that's not even doing anything. No, that's the idea, is you don't want it. Right. You don't want to see any problems. And so this is good security. It's good protection on those cats that are otherwise healthy. They cannot get this from their cat food. And the good news is that if you find that it just doesn't work, or you're not happy with it for any reason, there's a 100% money back guarantee with this product.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then is this also included in the giving program?
It is. Like all of our products, it's in a 1-for-1 program. So that means for every serving that we sell, we give one to an animal in need. Now we use working animals, and we use working small animals and large animals in our giving program. And so that means that animals that are helping that human-animal bond. And so we like to use therapy animals on the small animal side. You know, the animals that go visit people in the hospital. And so again, we want those animals to be really optimize their health. If they're healthy, they're not struggling with any of these things that we've talked about, then we know they're going to be able to go out and do their job and bless these people that, you know, are sad, lonely, sick, you know, and be able to provide that uplift. So this is a big deal for us to be able to give back, and we do that in a 1-for-1 basis.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Dr. Rob, thank you today. And guys, just want to wrap up our daily cat conversation. As with all Fullbucket probiotics, you're going to get the highest concentration of the most studied, peer-reviewed strain of probiotic. You're going to get all the other good, important stuff that animals used to get 100 years ago when they were out roaming free, with the enzymes and the prebiotics and the L-Glutamine. So well, hopefully you check out Daily Cat, you check it out on the website. Thank you again, Dr. Franklin.
I appreciate it, Zig.